A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mauni and I welcome all of you to Study IQ. Dear friends, today is 29th October and it is a Sunday. For many of you, I believe it is a fun day as well. And dear friends, if you ask me regarding how to study or how to prepare, then I would like to share some of my thoughts on it. And this is regarding day offs. Do we need a day off? The answer is yes. But I have to say that day off that does not mean that you should mandatorily be away from studies for a full day, right? That does not mean that Sunday you should not do any sort of studies at all. No, that it all depends, right? It all depends on your requirement, your necessity, or where at present do you stand. If you have just started preparation, then of course you have to give some extra efforts, isn't it? So it's fine if you are not taking day off, but I would recommend that at least 1 hour, right? At least 1 hour, or say for example 2 hours or 3 hours, you should be away from studies every Sunday. The reason I'm saying it is because it will work as a sort of fuel for you, right? It will help you. This fuel will help you. It will energize you for the next 6 days. From Monday to Saturday, you will get a sort of new energy if you do things that are part of your interest. You should give it a try to this thing, right? And when you are say for example enjoying your Sunday, or when you are away from study, then forget about study altogether. If you have decided that you are going to spend 3 hours after with your friends or with your hobbies and things like that, then just stick with that hobbies for this 3 hours, and then only you would be able to get maximum out of your day off or your rest. Do let me know how this sort of things are working for you, right? These things are not pertaining to motivation. These are technologies, right? And if you try this technology, then you will definitely reap dividends from it. Dear friends, please allow me to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses for different exams. We provide different pen drive and tablet courses. They are designed by the best faculties of our country, and if you want to know more about it, that how it will help you with your capacity building and things like that, then just check out studyiq.com. If you have any further queries, you can feel free to give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Dear friends, today is Sunday, as you know, and we don't find editorials in newspaper today, right? You find many articles, but let me tell you that, let me clarify this thing, that the things that we take on board in this discussion are only those things that are important for your examination, right? You might be knowing this thing, but I have to say from my side that newspapers like the Hindu newspaper is not published just for students preparing for competitive exams, right? Not at all. From a president to a layman, right? You can see the whole range. Everyone has something and something in the Hindu, or in the matter of fact any other newspaper, but we have to choose, right? We have to select the things and we have to reject the things. We have to select those things which are necessary, or those things which are relevant for our examination, and we have to, of course, we have to leave all those things behind which are not useful for our capacity building. So the things that we take on Sunday are of course going to be in quantity. They are going to be limited, but I must assure all of you that there is no sort of compromise at all, and there will not be any compromise in the future as well when it comes to quality of the items. With this, dear friends, the first item that we have is pertaining to ease of doing business. Now, dear friends, you know it very well that ease of doing business is something that is a must thing if we want to develop our country. What is happening in our country, or what used to happen for the longest period of time, is that it used to take ages and ages for just getting clearance of, or you can say a license or a permission to operate your business in our country. And I'm talking about foreign companies. Lots and lots of foreign companies have gone out of India because of these things, because of not finding a sort of conducive environment of doing business, and which is not good at all for any developing country like India. The other thing is that if you see the toppers here, right, the 2017 toppers list, then you find countries like New Zealand and Singapore. And with the help of Singapore, let me give you a small example how things works over there. If you go to Singapore and if you want to open a factory, or if you want to set up a business over there, then within 1 week, maximum 1 week time, you will get all the clearances, right? They are using a single window clearance. Single window clearance means you have one place where you have to go to get all your permissions. You don't have to travel to different ministries, and you don't have to offer bribes and things like that to different people. You go to one office, and from there, within a week, everything will be sorted out for you. The other thing is that just giving permission is not enough. Other things, say for example, I'll give you a permission to open business in our country, right? But if you don't find proper infrastructure, if you don't find other things that are necessary like energy and other requirements, if you don't find this sort of things, then ease of doing business, just giving permission is not going to be enough. This is something simple to understand, isn't it? India is trying its level best, and it is said in the newspaper that this year we are going to rank 100. Our rank is going to be 100. It used to be around 130, 42, but we are trying, we are doing many reforms, and rank 100 is not bad, because in 2017 we were 130. So this is a good thing for all of us. The other thing is that there are some other areas in which we did some reform, and this has overall helped our country to get rank 100. And these are starting a business, that is something you can say pertaining to this clearance thing, then construction permits and resolving insolvency and things like that. So here are different figures. It used to be like this, but now it is going to change. One more thing that I would like to add here is that India is not happy, or India raised its concern to the World Bank. And let me tell you that this ease of doing business report is published by World Bank. This should be absolutely crystal clear to you, right? Keep this thing in mind. It is helpful for your GK, that is general knowledge, for your prelims examination, as well as when you are writing mains answer, or in the interview. If they ask you this sort of question, then you should know that you should be precise, that doing business report is published by World Bank. Now, dear friends, why India was not, or why India is still a little bit not happy with the World Bank? Because what World Bank does is it takes into consideration these two cities, right? Delhi and Mumbai only. Now, if we see internal ease of doing business, a report that is been made by Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, then we have seen that many states, they are not that rich state or industrialized states, but they have done quite well. Jharkhand, Telangana, if you see their rank, then they used to be you can say laggards, but now they are on top of this game of ease of doing business. So India has India did say to this World Bank that why you take only this Mumbai and Delhi? How about just go through the other areas and other states, and you will find a considerable change in the rank of India. But anyways, the important thing is that this rank 100 is going to create a wave of positivism. You can say a positive wave will be created with this rank, and this you can club it with, or you can connect this thing with behavioral economics, isn't it? Behavioral economics. We have talked about this thing, behavioral economics, earlier. Recently, this year, 2017 Nobel Prize for Economy was given to Richard Thaler for his theory of behavioral economics. So the first question that I have for you is provide some examples of real life behavioral economic thing that you have seen, right? That things that you have observed. So do let me know about this thing, and this is a good exercise for you, because dear friends, what happens is economy, right, is a sort of practical side of economics. We read and study economics from our books, but economy is something that is going on in real life. Same thing you can say about constitution. Constitution is a written document, but polity and governance are its practical side. So you should think about it, and it will help you a lot in your capacity building. Dear friends, one more item is here, and I do always try all the things that we can connect the dots, or you can say if we can study things with interdisciplinary approach. That means you try to connect geography with history and history with the polity, and everything connecting with each other. In this way we can see a big picture and we can understand things a bit more clearly. So Ramnath Kovind ji has talked about judicial process, and he said that we have to use digital technology, and of course we know the benefits of digital technology. If we implement digital technology in judiciary or judicial justice delivery system, then it is going to make things a bit more faster, isn't it? The second thing is that he has also talked about the certified copies of court verdicts in local language, because we know that not everyone in our country is speaking or understanding the language of English, isn't it? We have different languages and different high courts. Say for example, Gujarat High Court should release all its verdicts and things like that in Gujarati as well, along with English, so everyone can the people, majority of people who cannot understand English can go through these verdicts in Gujarati language, and they can understand a bit better the whole justice delivery system. With this, dear friends, you can connect this ease of doing business with the justice delivery system. You know that cases, they go for longest period of time in our country, and this is one of the reason why many foreign companies are not ready, or whenever, even if they come here, they find this sort of things not in their favor or not good for business, and this impacts the whole business environment as well. So if you want to improve ease of doing business in our country, then of course you have to improve this justice delivery system as well. We should ensure that all the cases finish within 1 year max. We should try our level best, but of course there cannot be any compromise with quality. But there are ways through which with the help of digitization and things like that, we can improve the quantity, or you can say we can make it a bit faster, and this will help everyone. Moving on to another item, this is about a very sad news coming from Philippine Sea. An Indian vessel, Emerald Star, we have lost it, and we have lost many people as well. There are few survivors, and my prayers goes out for all those people and their family, and of course my prayers, I am praying on your behalf as well, considering you as an inseparable part of Study IQ family. And now, dear friends, the thing is, there is a mention of cargo liquefaction, right? And many times you find this sort of terminologies or this sort of questions in your prelims examination, so I thought that I should share what this liquefaction is all about. But before that, let me tell you that this whole incident took place because of a depression, tropical depression, and the name is Odette. Now, dear friends, cargo liquefaction, let me break it down for you. See, what happens is you have nickel ore, or say for example soil, right? Let's take example of soil or any sort of ore. It is in a very grained form, or you can say just like soil, right? It is in small pieces, and when you have this nickel ore or soil as a cargo on your ship, and when you have this sort of weather system, like when you have depression and too much rainfall and too much moisture, anyways, you find the moisture content over the sea surface is quite high compared to the continents. So you have this sort of moisture in the air, and this is going to impact this nickel ore or any other ore, or you can say soil. And because of too much moisture, this solid particles will convert into liquid, right? This solid particles will convert into liquid. This is called as liquefaction. Now, why it is problem for ship industry? The thing is, when you have this depression going outside, so you know that the ship is going to be a bit wobbly, isn't it? It is going to wobble. And when your your cargo is in liquid form, then it is going to create imbalance of the whole ship. And if the whole ship is containing this thing, and if it is liquefied, right, then it is going to impact the balance of the ship. And this is one of the main reason why this thing took place, because this Emerald Star was a huge ship, and within 10 minutes it was underwater. So you can imagine This thing is not good for merchant navy at all. And with this thing, I would like to also mention here that if we go through the past papers, then we see that questions based on geopolitics are asked from this part of the world. It used to be, right? You find many questions pertaining to this area of West Asia and parts of Africa. But since 2016, end of 2016, and so far 2017, we find this area of East Asia has been in news because of North Korea and Japan and China and South Korea and other countries. And this whole incident of this Emerald Star took place here, right, in the Philippine Sea. Let me provide you a sort of zoomed map here. So roughly speaking, it took place somewhere here, right, roughly here somewhere. And this is Philippine Sea. We have talked about South China Sea, and what I'm trying to highlight here is that you should have a good understanding, or this whole area should be crystal clear in your mind. You should have a good picture of this thing. You should know the capital of the countries here. You should know about Spratly Islands and where is South China Sea. The country is sharing border with South China Sea, and this Philippine Sea and Celebes Sea and things like that. So please do spend some quality time after map reading as well. Moving on to another item. This is about human resources, right? When I say human resources, I'm talking about the future generation of our country. Now, we know it very well that nowadays we see different issues associated with our teenagers. Recently, the attack on Swiss tourists, out of, if I'm not wrong, 3 culprits who were engaged in this attack were underage, right? They were under 18. They were adolescent or teenagers. The other things that we find in our country is nutrition inequality as well, right? Nutrition inequality. That means when you compare boys and girls, we find more girls are malnourished than boys. We know the reason. It is all these cultural issues and stereotypes and things like that. Apart from that, we also see the misuse of social media, and games like Blue Whale and things like that are also having a negative impact on our youth, particularly these teenagers. We also see use of tobacco, and obesity is growing on. And we also see rather than playing outdoors nowadays, most of the activity or most of the time spent by our youth or teenagers is in front of a screen, may it be mobile screen or TV screen or computer screen. So this is not going to be, this in fact is not a healthy trend at all, right? We have to change this thing, and I must say that it is not only the responsibility of parents, not at all. It is the whole society. We have to provide a learning and a safe environment for our teenagers. We see many sort of abuses. It could be sexual abuses or violence being conducted on teenagers, and this leaves a sort of psychological scar for the longest period of time in the mind of people. And if we don't have productive, healthy, well-educated, skillful human resources, then in the future we won't be able to reach our goals as well, isn't it? This is something that we can understand it very well using our common understanding, common sense, isn't it? Now, dear friends, this news is pertaining to Jammu and Kashmir, and we know recently Dineshwar Sharma, he is appointed as a special representative of Government of India, and he is going to start a sustained dialogue with different stakeholders of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, he has worked as Intelligence Bureau Director, and if you want to know more about this whole issue of Jammu and Kashmir Special Representative, why we failed earlier, things like that, then here are 2 links here. You have this topic is explained in detail in English and Hindi. It is available on our Study IQ channel, and when you download this lecture slide, you can directly click this link here, and it will take you to that video lecture. And I would recommend all of you to have a good understanding on this subject, because it will help you a lot. This Jammu and Kashmir is an important topic in itself. Moving on to another item, and this is pertaining to politics, you can say, or political scenario of our country. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that we should start a debate regarding internal democracy of political parties. Dear friends, I must say that today we don't have any political party that we can safely say is 100% democratic when it comes to internal operation, right? There are many issues that we find: caste, the role of caste, the role of money power, regionalism, and other calculations are taken on board many a times, and internal democracy is a very, you can say it is a must, right? And see, the role of political party is not always negative. Without political parties, no one is going to represent you and me, isn't it? We need political parties, but we need them in a better shape. At present, we do see that there are many parties that are run by one family. There are many parties that are run by businessmen, right? The lobby, and there are business lobbies who are providing huge amount of money and things like that to this. So these are of course issues that we see, but internal democracy, without political party being internally democratic, we are not going to see a mature, you can say, or a deep-rooted democracy in our country as well. The other thing I must say that it all depends on demand, right? When I say demand, I mean to say that it all depends on the demand of society. Politicians are not they are not alien, right? They are part of our society, and they are one of us, isn't it? These political parties are also part of our society, and they are a clear reflection as well. So if the society, if we stop demanding this sort of caste thing and regionalism and other things, then only political parties will stop its supply as well. So the society has to change. We have to change our mindset if we want to change the things, or if we want to change the dirty games that we see many a times being played by different political parties. Moving on to another item. This is the last one but not the least, and it is pertaining to water transportation. Now Nitin Gadkari, he gave a green signal, or you can say he flagged off a cargo vessel carrying 185 trucks from Chennai to Bangladesh, or Chennai to Mongla port of Bangladesh. So here you have Bay of Bengal, and directly you can reach here. Of course, you have trucks, so either you have to dry them if you want to use roadways, or you have to send them via railways. I'm not sure whether that is possible or not, but yes, roadways is a thing, and you would require, you can imagine, 185 drivers if you want to send them in one shot, and fuel and everything, if you calculate, then it is going to be very expensive affair. But if you use waterways, then in one shot you can supply all these trucks, and we know about waterways that it is cheap, it is green as well, right, isn't it? And overall speed as well is quite reasonably good when you compare, when you have to cross all these states to reach Bangladesh. So this is a good thing. This is going to be the future, right? Waterways are future, in fact. And if you go through the history of our country as well, then you will find that it has always been the naval power, or the I'm not talking about the military sort of defense navy. I'm talking about the merchant navy or things like that. All the relations that we have, historical relations that we developed with ASEAN countries and other countries, navy has always played an important role. Moving on to another item, navies, or you can say waterways, has always played an important role. With this, dear friends, I would like to end this discussion here, but I have a question for you. This is a MCQ type of question, and it is pertaining to HELP, a scheme called HELP. Now do tell me what this scheme is all about. It is pertaining to Petroleum Ministry, right? You have to provide a full form as well as its objective, or you can say goal of this HELP. With this, dear friends, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this lecture, do give us your like if you have learned something out of this discussion, and don't forget to check out studyiq.com for pen drive and tablet courses. I will wait for your answers as well as your valuable comments. With this, dear friends, I end this discussion. I'll see you all soon. Enjoy your studies. My best wishes are always with you. Jai Hind.